Hey everybody, Teresa here of Larkin Design. Welcome back to our Disney 2020 album project. And so today I am going to take you over to Epcot and we're going to ride Journey into Imagination with Figment. I am working with the Innovation Collection from Sahlin Studio. You guys, this is an older collection, pre-Project Mouse collection that is perfect for documenting Epcot. So if you are looking for an Epcot, a good kit to use for the Epcot adventures, that is one that I highly recommend. It is the featured kit for March of 2020, and this is the layout that I did for the Sahlin Studio design team. Full disclosure, I did receive this collection, this digital kit, as part of the Sahlin Studio design team. So let's hop on the ride here and get going with our process. So I started this layout with the digital elements from the Innovation Kit, and I went in and opened up some of the patterned papers and created some of my own journaling cards. And since I am a pocket page gal, I really love using pocket pages, especially for Disney layouts, because then you can include every photo that you want. I also brought in some of the journaling cards and the die cuts from the Project Mouse Vibes kit, just so I would have some spaces for journaling. And starting with the title card here, I used one of the background pattern papers as my background and layered in Photoshop. I layered a simple white rectangle and then added the arrow and spelled out Figment with the alphabet that's included in that kit. And then I knew that I would finish the title. I've been on a black alphabet kick lately, so I added the rest of the title with this little alpha from Pink Fresh Studio. And I did that just to add a bit of dimension to the card and to make it truly hybrid, I guess. And you could make a card like this in the Over app if you were interested in doing it on your phone. You just have to bring in all of your digital elements to do that. But this is a fun way to make your own journaling cards and to use a more traditional collection in Project Life. I did size down that background pattern paper a little bit. I think it's in original format, it's 12 by 12, and I brought it down to probably 8 by 8 or 7 by 7, just so that it fits a little bit better with the scale of this card. And then you'll notice that I added a tiny strip of washi tape in red across the top, or across the top of the white rectangle on the card. And that's just to add a pop of color. It's feeling very neutral, which is fantastic. But as you know, the Disney experience is very colorful. As you can see in the photos from this layout, it's very colorful. And so this card needed just a little tiny bit of color there, and I really liked adding just that little strip of red there to tie it into the rest of the layout. There is a lot of black and white on this layout. Every layout needs a bit of black and white, and it helps the photos to stand out a little bit. And then adding a little dimension with color, that makes it fun for me. That makes the hybrid part fun for me, absolutely. And so I know that the process of adding these letters is a little bit tedious here. I'm going to just go back and straighten them all out and and make sure that it all looks fairly straight here. And so just a few notes about the photos on this layout. So obviously the Disney rides, taking photos on Disney rides can be a bit challenging, but I encourage you to try it, especially try it with your more modern iPhones and smartphones, because they've really come a long way and make it a little bit easier. What I do is tap on the brightest portion of the lens when you're taking your picture. Tap on the character that you're wishing to capture, and that will focus on the brightest point in your camera screen. And so I had like 5 photos from the ride. I had a photo from the building from the outside. I had a photo of 3 of the kids that were sitting in front of us on the ride, and then all of the kids waiting outside of the ride, which I feel like is a great representation of this ride. It's impossible to photograph everything, nor would you want to photograph everything. So as you go through your next Disney trip and you are trying to figure out what to document, take a photo of the outside. Take a photo of people on the outside, your family, your friends, yourself. I actually am not in this layout, but I am in a lot of the others, and so that's fine. But then try and experiment taking photos on the ride itself and see what you get. I won't be doing a layout about every ride we went on. I think I have photos from all of the rides. They didn't all turn out so great, but at least having, even if you have one, even if one comes out, that's worth it to me. So just a couple of design notes on this side of the page. You'll see that I used some wood veneer pieces from Ellie's Studio. And then I have a couple of stamp sets here. This is Ali Edwards Magic, the Ellie's Studio stamp set from their Magical Memories collection. And then I also used those red stars from Studio Calico, and the label at the top is from Project Mouse Vibes, and all the journaling cards, the 3x4 cards, I believe, are from Project Mouse Vibes. This card that I'm working on here is actually from Innovation, and again, it's a pattern paper that I shrunk down a bit. I layered one of the labels in the kit on top of that pattern paper, and added a stamp and added just 2 of those little red stars. The red stars and the wood stars get repeated several times across the layout, just to bring in dimension and visual interest, and again, repeating elements that you've already introduced. So where there was the wood magic on the left-hand side, now there's wooden stars on the right-hand side. Where there were red puffy stars on the left hand, there's now red puffy stars on the right-hand side. That gives consistency across the layout. If you guys have followed me for any amount of time, you know that I use this line stamp. I'm so sorry that it's not available anymore. It's an old stamp from Project Life, and it has several different line options, and it is a staple in my stash. And I use it just because if I don't have lines, I can't stand my handwriting. So that's just a way that I cope with how I feel about my handwriting. I mean, my handwriting is okay. It's nothing great, but that way at least I know that it's grounded on a line somehow, some way. So this journaling card here, this 4x6 Imagine card, is another one that I created with the Innovation Collection. And the Imagine word is word art in the collection. The pattern paper is one of the pattern papers, again, that I've resized, probably down to about 7 or 8 inches square. And then I added another strip of the red washi tape to tie it in with the rest of the layout, and to sort of ground that Imagine word art so that sits on the top as a title, and then I can add my journaling, and your eye will make more sense of this. So on the subject of journaling lines, these 2 lines are from Paisley Press. They were part of a December Daily stamp set, and I'm just using them 2 across to add 2 columns here to this card, and then I'm going to write about the ride itself. And so a couple of things that I noted, that I made it just a mental note of for myself, and then journaled about across the layout, with some of our feelings about this ride. This is actually one of the rides that all 6 of us rode together. There weren't many. Some kids didn't want to ride some of the rides. Some wanted to ride others, So, but this one, I think everybody rode, and we had some input. Addison feels like this is his favorite ride. Natalie, she was just 4 when we went in 2012, so she didn't really remember riding it. And then I wrote about how I feel about this ride, which is also one of my favorites. Plot twists, they're all my favorites. But I just wrote a little bit about how I felt on that 4x6 card. And also notice how I used some of the word art on that photo on the left-hand side. And I layered a white, or made that word art white so that it would pop against the dark background, just so that it would stand out a little bit, and it would, I didn't want that black photo or that dark photo to suck everything into it visually. I hope that makes sense. So one last little tab here that I'm adding, and then the layout will be completed. So thank you so much for watching today. Be sure to check out the website, larkindesigntm.com, for all the full details, more photos, and product links. See you again soon. Bye-bye.